Dear students, till now we have seen the history of rise of the Marathas and we have seen the biography of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and we also saw that under what circumstances did he successfully manage to establish his own kingdom. So just to give you a brief recap, so Shivaji and his family, they were born in Pune. So now let's see what happened after Shivaji's death and who became the next Chhatrapati and how did the Maratha Empire progress after that. So Shivaji died in 1680 at Raigad Fort. Raigad is the capital, or you can say was the capital of the kingdom established by Chhatrapati Shivaji. So after suffering from a bout of dysentery, so he had two prominent sons, but his eldest son was Sambhaji, and it is said heir apparent. Why heir apparent? Because he had already involved Sambhaji into the political administrative setup, because Sambhaji was already sent to serve under Aurangzeb and later on under his son. So it was very clear that after Shivaji's death, Sambhaji will get the throne. But Sambhaji was still under house arrest in Panhala Fort. Why was he under house arrest? Sambhaji was put under house arrest by his own father Shivaji, because Sambhaji have developed some bad habits like smoking, drinking. So to cure him from his craving or from his bad habits, Shivaji had put him under house arrest. So when Shivaji died, he was still under house arrest in a fort, Panhala Fort. So Shivaji's second wife, Soyarabai, tried to make her 10-year-old son Raja Ram. So Raja Ram is Sambhaji's step brother. So Soyarabai is trying to or making attempts that her son should become the next Chhatrapati. So Sambhaji dethroned the young Raja Ram and ascended the throne himself on 1680. So this young boy of 10 years age, he could rule only for 2 months. 2 months. And after 2 months, he was dethroned by the real, you can say, the contender or the genuine contender, whose name was Sambhaji. He was the eldest son of Shivaji. So that way you can say Sambhaji became the next or the second Chhatrapati. So he is not counted as Chhatrapati. So now let us see, Sambhaji Maharaj is the new Chhatrapati. Chhatrapati means sovereign ruler. It was the title taken by the Marathas. So after Shivaji's death in 1680, there were attempts by some ministers in the Maratha court to crown Sambhaji's half-brother Raja Ram as the king. Raja Ram was Shivaji's son from his wife Soyarabai. Sambhaji, who was under house arrest in Panhala Fort, soon came out of that, took possessions of the forts of Panhala and Raigad. Raigad was the capital. So now capital is captured by Sambhaji Maharaj. So if you capture the capital, means you are more powerful than the existing king. So now he was crowned the Chhatrapati on 20th of July 1680. Soon after, he imprisoned Raja Ram. Who was Raja Ram? His own step brother. So Raja Ram was captured. His mother Soyarabai was also captured. Raja Ram's wife was also captured. Why were they captured? Because they had tried to become the Chhatrapati. They have tried to take the throne which actually belonged to Sambhaji. So after ascending the throne, Sambhaji started his military campaigns against various neighboring kingdoms. So Sambhaji is now the new Chhatrapati. Shivaji has left a very large kingdom on his shoulders. So now he has to expand this empire who are the neighbors of the Marathas? Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Berar, and of course you have the Mughals. So after ascending the throne, Sambhaji started his military campaigns against various neighboring kingdoms. Sambhaji permitted his soldiers to plunder and loot the conquered regions, which was against the policies of his father Shivaji. Now, here you will get to understand something. So, Shivaji was a warrior. He used to attack armies, he used to defeat them. But his son Sambhaji started a new trend. So, he used to allow his soldiers, instead of paying them, because financial condition of the Marathas had grown weak after the death of Shivaji. So instead of paying to these soldiers, Sambhaji used to tell them that go and attack this area and loot and take money from common people. So this practice was started by Sambhaji. The effect of this practice lasted up till 1830s, because these soldiers, these Maratha soldiers, when the Maratha Empire was disestablished, they turned into robbers. They were known as Pindaris. They were called as Pindaris by the Britishers. So from then on, the Marathas also started, Bengal and Bihar. Even today, there are songs dedicated to these Maratha soldiers who used to come and attack the towns of Bengal and Bihar, and they used to loot them. So all this was started during the time of Sambhaji Maharaj. So Sambhaji Maharaj is now trying to expand his empire. So if he will try to expand his empire, he will come under conflict with the Mughals. So let us understand that how did Sambhaji came into conflict with the Mughals. So when Sambhaji was the Chhatrapati, who is the Mughal emperor? Mughal emperor is Aurangzeb. So something went wrong, so that Aurangzeb and Sambhaji came into conflict. So let us understand what went wrong. There were frequent clashes with the Mughals. Why? Because Sambhaji was trying to expand his empire. So if this is the Maratha Empire, all the neighboring kingdom, they had either become parts of the Mughal or they had signed peace treaties with the Mughals. So if you will try to capture these territories, you are challenging the Mughals. Sambhaji also had conflicts with the Portuguese in Goa. Why? Because these Portuguese people, they had stronghold at Vasai. Vasai is in Mumbai. Mumbai was part of Maratha that time. So these Portuguese used to also come to Maratha territories, whereas the Maratha people thought that this belongs to us. So Sambhaji also had conflicts with Portuguese in Goa. So to tackle the, a European power, Portuguese were the European power, they had superior guns, they had superior weapons. So Sambhaji signed a peace treaty with the English to secure weapons and gunpowder. Sambhaji continued guerrilla warfare against the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Now, what is guerrilla warfare? So, there are two types of battles. You come face to face with your enemies. There is one army, there is another army. They come face to face and they fight battle. The other way is guerrilla. That means you hide somewhere, look for the right time, you come out, attack, and then you go back and hide. So guerrilla warfare, Marathas were famous for guerrilla warfare. Actually, this technique was developed by Shivaji itself. So instead of fighting large scale battles, they used to fight guerrilla warfare because they knew that Maratha enemy army was a huge army. Mughal army was a huge army, Maratha army was small as compared to them. So coming head to head would mean suicidal. It was a foolishness if you fight head to head battles. That's why they were fighting guerrilla warfare. So all this was making Aurangzeb very angry. So Sambhaji gave shelter to Akbar the Fourth, who was Aurangzeb's son and had revolted against his father. So Sambhaji did something which because of which Aurangzeb's anger went out of control. So Aurangzeb's young son Akbar IV had ran away from Agra. He had revolted against his father Aurangzeb. He wanted to become the viceroy of Deccan. But his father Aurangzeb was not giving him that post. So he ran to South India. He ran to Deccan and he took shelter in Sambhaji's palace. So this made Aurangzeb very angry and suspicious, because Aurangzeb began to think that these two are planning to dethrone me. So now Aurangzeb is very, very angry. In February 1689, you have to remember the year, in 1689, Sambhaji was finally captured by Mughal forces. Actually, the close associates of Sambhaji, they were bribed, they were given huge amount of money by the Mughals, and they gave the location of Sambhaji to them. So Sambhaji was imprisoned, captured and kept in a prison. You can see he was kept in this prison. So now Aurangzeb was very, very angry from him. He was looking for a long time to capture him. Now he is finally captured. So Sambhaji was tortured for a week on Aurangzeb's order. So Aurangzeb wanted to make an example out of him. He wanted the whole world to see that what happens if somebody challenges Aurangzeb. So he was brutally tortured for a week, you can see. So he was not killed immediately. Finally, he was executed on 11th March 1689. So dates are not important. So you have to just remember that what happened to this Chhatrapati. He was the Chhatrapati. He was the ruler of entire Maratha. All the entire Maratha population considered him to be his king. And finally, he is executed by Aurangzeb. So he was executed in Tulapur near a river. Executed by, his head was cut off. So Shivaji is already dead. His son Sambhaji is killed by or executed by Aurangzeb. What will happen next? Who will become the next Chhatrapati? So after executing Sambhaji, the Mughals went to the capital city. What was the capital? Raigad. So a few days after Sambhaji's death, the capital Raigad fort was captured by the Mughals, and something very significant event happened here. Sambhaji's widow and son Sahu, remember this name Sahu. Who is Sahu? He is Sambhaji's son. Sambhaji's son. That means if Sambhaji is dead, that means he is about to become the next Chhatrapati. So what did Mughals do? They captured him because he would have become the next Chhatrapati. He was very young then. Shivaji's Sahu and his mother means Sambhaji's wife. Also Shivaji's wife Sakhwar wife were taken into Mughal custody. So Shivaji had died in 1780. Now Mughals are arresting his family in 1789. So who all are arrested? Sambhaji's wife, Sambhaji's son Sahu, who would have become the Chhatrapati. You will see what will happen to Sahu. So he is not killed, he is only captured. So all these people are captured and taken to Agra. So Sahu was only 7 years of age when he was captured, and he remained prisoners of Mughals for 18 years from February 1689 until Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's death in 1707. So he was arrested in 1689 on the orders of Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb died in 1707. So for this entire time period, for this period of 18 years, Shahu Ji Maharaj, who is Sambhaji's son, was held under house arrest, was under captivity of Mughals. Finally, Shahu was set free by Emperor Muhammad Azam Shah, who was the son of Aurangzeb in 1707. Because Aurangzeb was already dead, and his son Ajam Shah had become the next emperor. So this is what happened to Sahu. Sahu is in custody. So if Sahu is in custody and Sambhaji is dead, someone else had to become Chhatrapati. So the next Chhatrapati was Chhatrapati Rajaram. Who was Chhatrapati Rajaram? Chhatrapati Rajaram was Sambhaji's step brother. After Sambhaji's death, all the Maratha nobles forgot their differences, united under the banner of Chhatrapati Rajaram. He was Sambhaji's half brother. You remember when Shivaji had died, Sambhaji was in house arrest and Rajaram was only 10 years old. So that time also Rajaram had attempted to become Chhatrapati, but he was not successful. But now what is the situation? Sambhaji is dead. His son is taken into custody by the Mughals and he is taken to Agra. So there is no one to oppose Rajaram. There is nobody who can stop Rajaram. So Rajaram becomes the next Chhatrapati. And since Marathas and Mughals are bitter enemies now, so he also continued his struggle against the Mughals. So finally, Rajaram was crowned at Raigad. Raigad is the capital in 1689. So within 10 days, Mughals started laying siege to the region around Raigad because they had expected that Maratha kingdom will come to an end. They are capturing Sambhaji's son. They thought that now nobody will become Chhatrapati. But all of a sudden, Rajaram became Chhatrapati. So Mughals were surprised and within 10 days, they again started to attack Raigad. The Maratha army moved young King Rajaram, to the fort of Jinji. Jinji is located in Tamil Nadu. So they knew that if Rajaram is not moved out, he may also get captured. So Chhatrapati left Raigad, moved to Jinji. So Jinji, so where Chhatrapati will live, that will only become the capital. So from then on, Jinji became the capital of Marathas for a while. Question has been asked, who shifted Maratha capital from Raigad to Jinji? Answer is Chhatrapati Rajaram. Now Mughal forces laid siege to Jinji fort in 1690 because Mughals want to end this system of Chhatrapati. So they are not going to remain silent. So now if Chhatrapati has moved to Jinji, Mughals will also go to Jinji to arrest him. So after many failed attempts, he was finally captured in 1698. So Mughals kept on trying to capture him. Finally, he was captured in 1698. So Rajaram, however, escaped and fled first to Vellore. So Rajaram was finally captured by the Mughals, but Mughals did not kill him. He managed to escape from the Mughal custody and ran to Vellore. After some time, Rajaram died because he had developed lung diseases. So he died at Singhad near Pune. So after Shivaji, or you can say after Sambhaji, within all the later Chhatrapatis, they are very weak because Sambhaji's own son Sahuji Maharaj is still in Mughal custody. So, and Aurangzeb is ruling the country now. It is Aurangzeb who is doing all this. So now Rajaram is also dead. So somebody will have to become the next Chhatrapati. So let us see what happens. Rajaram's widow Tarabai proclaimed her young son Shivaji too as the next Chhatrapati and ruled as his regent. So Rajaram died due to lung diseases. Sahu is in custody. So who will become the next ruler? So Rajaram's wife Tarabai took the lead. Since a woman cannot become the Chhatrapati, so what did Tarabai do? Tarabai placed her son Shivaji II on throne. Who Who is Shivaji too? He is the son of Tarabai and Rajaram. And she herself become the regent. That means she is the caretaker. So Tarabai Bhosle was the regent of Maratha Empire from 1700 to 1708. So you can see she acted like the Chhatrapati. So who is the first woman ruler of Maratha Empire? Answer is Tarabai Bhosle. You have to remember all these facts. So she is acclaimed for her role in keeping alive the resistance against the Mughal occupation. So whosoever will become the in charge of Maratha kingdom will have to continue the fight with the Mughals because they are in tussle with the Mughals. She personally led the war and continued the fight against the Mughals. In 1706, Tarabai was captured by Mughal forces. So Mughals were always looking to capture Chhatrapati or whosoever was the leader of the Marathas. So finally, Tarabai was also captured by the Mughal forces for a brief period of 4 days. For 4 days, she was in custody, but she escaped after she had bribed one Mughal soldier in letting her go. So she also gave bribe to soldiers, and that's how she escaped. So she was a very smart lady. She ruled the entire Maratha kingdom for 8 years. So you can just understand how brilliant she was. Now he is Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj. What is his story? His father was Sambhaji. So Sambhaji was captured and killed by Aurangzeb in 1689. Then Aurangzeb had sent forces in Sambhaji's house, and Sambhaji's son Shahuji was arrested by Mughals and taken to Agra. So he is the same Shahuji Maharaj. Now let's see what happened to him. He was taken into custody by Mughals. What happened to him? So Aurangzeb's death in 1707 made Mughals very weak. His son Bahadur Shah became the new Mughal emperor. So Aurangzeb is dead. It was Aurangzeb who had given order to capture this boy. He was only 7 years old when he was caught. So when Aurangzeb died, he was 25 years old. So for 18 years he had remained in Mughal custody. Who? Shahuji Maharaj. In order to divide the Maratha onslaught, the Mughals released Shahuji. So now Aurangzeb is dead. His son Bahadur Shah became the new emperor, and Mughals are facing attacks from Marathas. Mughals are facing attacks from Marathas. So who is the in charge of Maratha then? Tarabai is the in charge. Tarabai is the in charge of Marathas. So what does the new Mughal emperor do? He releases Shahuji Maharaj. Why? Because he knows that he is Sambhaji's son. People love him. So if I release him, he will go and fight with his aunt. He will say that make me the new Chhatrapati, and Marathas will start fighting amongst themselves. So that's why in order to divide the Maratha onslaughts, the Mughals released Shahuji. So Shahuji, who was Sambhaji's son, and Tarabai will start fighting. So he immediately challenged Tarabai and her son Shivaji too, because Tarabai had not become Chhatrapati. She was just acting as a regent for Shivaji too. So he challenges that both of you leave the throne. Now I have come out of jail. This is my throne. This belongs to me. Shahu got full support of Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath, and Tarabai was sidelined. Who is this Peshwa? Peshwa is the prime minister. If you have a Chhatrapati as the king, then king have different officers as well. So Peshwa was the prime minister. So when Shahu was released and he wanted to become Chhatrapati again, that time the prime minister or Peshwa was Balaji Vishwanath. So he was very happy that Sambhaji's own son has been released. So this Peshwa held Shahuji Maharaj and Tarabai was sidelined. So under Sahu's reign, so now Sahuji Maharaj becomes the next Chhatrapati. So under Sahu's reign, Maratha power and influence extended to all corners of Indian subcontinent. So please understand, when Sahuji Maharaj is becoming the Chhatrapati, the Mughals are about to lose power because Aurangzeb is dead. So one side Marathas are gaining power, Marathas are becoming more powerful. On the other side, Mughals are losing power. So what happened? Very soon you will see that Marathas take control of the entire country, because earlier Mughals were controlling the country. Now Marathas will control it. So you just saw that Sahuji Maharaj managed to become the Chhatrapati with the help of Peshwa. So that way the position or post of Peshwa became very, very important. So as Sahu had become Chhatrapati with the help of Peshwa Balaji Viswanath, so in return he transferred the real authority and power in the hands of Peshwa. So Sahuji said that you helped me to become Chhatrapati, so now you are the real powerful person, so I give you more power. I transfer the powers of Chhatrapati to you. That means position of Peshwa. Peshwa became the real decision maker. Shahu and his successors were always dependent on Peshwas. That means system of Chhatrapati was still there. System of Chhatrapati was still there. Peshwa was his prime minister. He is the king, he is the prime minister. But in reality, prime minister became the decision maker. He respected Chhatrapati fully. He did not have any hatred for Chhatrapati, but Peshwas were taking decisions. So this happened during Shahu's time, and this system continued as long as Maratha Empire lasted. That means from then on, Chhatrapati lost importance, Peshwas gained prominence. So Sahu and his successors were always dependent on their Peshwas. The seat of the Peshwas became hereditary. That means if one Peshwa dies, his son will only become the next Peshwa. So Shahu died in 1749 and his successors were rubber stamps under the Peshwa Raj. So from the time of Shahu only, Peshwas have become the real rulers. So his successors are obviously the rubber stamps. So two phases, the entire Maratha history can be divided into two phases. First phase we just saw, which was the time period when Shivaji, his sons, his grandsons were the rulers. The next phase starts when Peshwas start to control the Maratha kingdom. So we are going to cover the second half of Maratha kingdom in next lecture.